Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a podcast where I review films of all kinds of languages, of most genres. In this case, the body horror drama. I'm not really familiar with that drama, I must say, but I got really in touch with it with the work of Julia Ducournau. She's a French Belgian filmmaker. She's recently won the Palme d'Or, which is the French version of the Academy Awards, a bit more prestigious than the American Academy Awards. She recently won with the film called Titane, which is French for titanium. It is one of the craziest films I've ever seen in my life. It is probably one of the most ridiculous films I've seen in my life, but it works because it's written very well. There's a point. It's a very unique story. The acting is really good. I don't know, man. It's a simple plot. It's really not that crazy, even though you see crazy stuff happen. Happy October. This is the month of October. For the rest of this month, I'm gonna be reviewing all Halloween, all horror genre related films as much as I can. But for sure, Thursdays, a movie every Thursday. I wanted to save this one in particular because it is technically a horror film. It felt like a horror film. This film is very graphic in as far as like showing body parts, showing, sex, showing violence, especially the violence. I feel like the violence is more crazy than like, people getting it on and all that stuff. The starring cast: Vincent Lindon, Agathe Rousselle, Garance Marillier, and Lai Salome. Great cinematography by Ruben and Pens. One of my favorite shots of this film is pretty much probably in the beginning of the not the beginning of the film, maybe like 10 minutes after the first act, where we see the main character played by Agathe Rousselle named Alexia. She's as you see in the film, she's a stripper, and she is fascinated with cars. And her job, I guess not her job, but like her practice is, stripping at these like car shows, basically like, grinding and riding these lowrider car hoods. It's crazy. And what's great about this shot in particular is the fact that it follows the character from getting out of transportation, getting to the venue, going across all kinds of areas within the venue, saying hi, signing autographs to like random dudes. And it's mostly all in one shot, and it's curated very well, which I give my props to the cinematographer and props to the director as well, because it's a very impressive shot. It keeps you engaged because the way the camera moves sort of goes with how the music is playing in the background, which is also the very music that is used for the stripping part of the scene, which, like I said, curated very well. Anyways, besides that, this I can't spoil this film. You need to see this film. It's on your streaming services. And as far as the plot is concerned, this woman just gets into an accident, and since the accident, she has never been the same in all kinds of ways. She has a troubled life. She can't get no love, man, from anybody really, and it sucks. It even sucks even more when you get love from these strangers who feel like they love somebody, but in reality, it's just all a fixation. And this chick, Alexia, she has no interest in anybody. It's crazy. One day she just loses it, goes on a sort of a killing spree. It's crazy. Somehow she escapes. She literally physically transforms herself in as to match a missing person's photo that she sees in the subway. Things go crazy after that. The story that continues right after that goes on a whole Stockholm syndrome type of theme here, where she's basically kind of trapped in a home, but at the same time, she just won't. She just doesn't leave. She could leave whenever she wants, but she just doesn't. And she develops a bond with the people that she's with, and at the same time, she's in a complete false identity. And what sucks is that she has to deal with something that happened in the second act, and it's freaking crazy because from then on, it only makes sense when you watch that very part. My name is Ray Salazar. Follow me on Morning Shot Films on IG and YouTube. Follow, rate, and review this podcast, Morning Reel, where you get all your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart. This thing's on YouTube as well. I recommend you see this film. I was also recommended to see a film before this one called Raw, which is written and directed by the same director.